Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video now that I've kind of calmed down from the madness. And the madness was because of this. As we can see, there's an actually substantial amount of blade missing from the blue diamond knife. And just so you can all bear witness, that is after my right hand, my left hand. That is after beating the ever-loving fuck out of this thing against a tree, batoning through hardwood. I did bottle cutting with it. It surprised the hell out of me. I batoned wood with it. Survived that. And then I rigorously chopped up a tree. You heard me right. I chopped down a sizable, about 2¼ to 3 inch wide tree with this thing. That's where that damage came from. And it's still fucking shaving hair off of my arm. Yeah. This thing is a monster. I ragged on Blue Diamond before, but I couldn't actually do any testing. And I did do abusive testing with this thing. Absurd abusive testing that no one aside from DBK, Dutch Bushcraft Knives, would have attempted to do. Which, Dutch Bushcraft Knives, if you're watching this, I'll put a link in the description to you guys. Buy this knife and test it on your channel, please. I want to see this thing go through your rigorous testings, because my testings are but child's play compared to theirs. And it survived. It's still this sharp. I'm just blown away. My final thoughts and conclusions are basically, if you're looking for a kitchen knife that you never have to worry about breaking on you via normal use, because if it survived all that abuse. Now granted, the tree I was chopping was green wood, and I know a lot of you are like, oh Allah, why are you chopping green wood? Blah, 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 blah. Because it grows back. Okay? Don't ride my ass. The trees that I use for my testing grow like weeds. That thing will already have new sprouts growing next year. And then by the end of that year, whole ass branches. But in any case, just the amount of abuse this knife took, and the fact that it is as straight now as it was out of the box. I can't think of words to describe it. I always rag when you see those knife commercials online, like, oh, Blue Diamond Invincible, our knives never dull, chip or break, and then as soon as somebody with any inkling to test that theory comes along, the knives chip, dull, and break. This one didn't. Now, you may be wondering, Outlaw, the glaring elephant of the room of losing 1/4 of the blade. I will admit I started to get very exhausted and sloppy. And yes, even before I started chopping down the tree, when I was just chopping like small branches and shit, it was kind of wiggling around. So edge damage was occurring, but my dumbass just kept powering through. And now I have to reprofile this thing. Which, granted, once I reprofile and resharpen, it's more than likely going to go back to its original state of sharpness anyways. I don't know what steel this is made from. Blue Diamond doesn't disclose that, or at least they didn't disclose it on the packaging. But whatever the hell steel these things are made out of, for 20 bucks for a 3-pack, and you get this bastard in it? Yeah. I'd recommend, I can honestly, full-heartedly, fully recommend purchasing a Blue Diamond kitchen knife set. If nothing else, just for this. Because I didn't have an opportunity to test out its little counterpart. But if this is made out of the same steel and same heat treat and everything as this, then yes, I can highly recommend Blue Diamond. Now, there is obviously the caveat of maybe I just got a pun intended here, diamond in the rough. But I don't think so. I honestly think that this may be the one kitchen knife you can buy and will definitely outlive you into your descendants. Okay? Now, my critiques from the previous time I did this still stand. I don't really care for the blue. I'd much rather be black or red or have some kind of distinguishing color to kind of make the diamonds themselves pop more. But that's it. I can't say anything bad about this. And the edge damage is my fault. It's not because of heat treat. It's because I just kept powering through and kept chopping away. And I knew about it before I started doing the heavy chopping, but it was destruction test, so I had to keep going. No, everyone says one thing is $125 versus $15. Outlaw will not push this to the same extremes as this. And I'll actually be doing a comparison video on this versus this for that very reason. And the things that this thing can do and survive that this thing can't. Even though this is a literal solid piece of steel. But in conclusion, my noble band of outlaws, do I recommend the Blue Diamond knife? Hell the fuck yes! Will I be purchasing another one? Maybe, maybe not. I might just I'm going to reprofile this thing first and just see what that takes me in the whole will I, won't I thing. But yeah, I can highly, highly recommend a Blue Diamond kitchen knife. For anyone who is, if you know anyone who's very abusive with their cutlery and goes through knives like fucking toilet paper, get them this. Or if you know that someone's going to, or you have a friend who you know is going to do something stupid, and you're looking to get them a cheap knife that can probably not survive their stupidity, get this. Also, if you're going to summer camp or you're a camp counselor and you need a knife that can survive doing multiple things, get this. And finally, as we saw with it can process firewood, not extremely thick firewood like the Dutch bushcraft boys do. Mine was store-bought and seasoned specifically for burning. So I think there was still a higher moisture content than most of the wood the Dutch bushcraft boys use. But in any case, you saw that this thing can also do basic wood processing. Small wood, small trees, make some good feather sticks. Not good feather sticks, but this is the only knife I've ever tried doing feather sticks with that I actually made a real feather stick. So, yeah, I'm sorry, this is a compilation video, so this is going to be a big one. A big, long one. So until next time, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe and use your weapons, and I hope you can watch the whole thing. I'll put a snack and drink warning in the description. I'm out. Peace.